Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Talks with Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those who are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being, right? Today's conversation, we're going to be talking about building consistency without burnout, right? So I really want to take in consideration that many people believe that consistency, and pushing hard each and every day is going to lead us to the outcome that we want, right? But often this approach leads us to exhaustion instead of that progress, right? So I really want us to take in consideration that, I don't want you to be tore from the floor up, burnt out. You can't even, maneuver and kind of get yourself, back to the get back, right? And for those that know, right, when you're burnt out, it could take time for you to find yourself again and for you to get back to that get back. So I really want us to have more insight, that self-awareness, and to be able to build and grow and progress, right, without burning ourselves out. So if consistency keeps leading to burnout, the problem isn't you, it's the way that consistency is being defined. So stick with me, grow with me. I'm gonna be able to navigate throughout this video, right? So off the rip, I want to normalize the experience, right? So many people equate that consistency with constant productivity, right? This belief ignores your mental health, your emotional, and your physical capacity, right? So you're consistently pushing through without taking in consideration of different aspects of your life and your body, right? And these signals that are given off, impulse that we got to take in consideration, right? So burnout typically happens when people push past their limitations and it's just consistently being repeated, right? So burnout always or isn't always, about doing too little. It often becomes trying to do too much for long periods of time when we're dragging it out, right? So I want us to be more insightful in regards to, like I said, your body, what you're doing, right? And be intentional about, potentially taking a break that may be beneficial for you, right? So in regards to some psychoeducation, a simple way to, get yourself grounded is, key for term off rip is going to be that consistency about the pattern, not intensity, right? So look at the pattern, look at what's really going on. The nervous system requires recovery to maintain that effort over time. So we got to be able to take into consideration, like I said, we need that break, we need that rest. We got to be able to give our body that replenishment that it needs to kind of get us that energy, right? We got to be able to fill our cup back up before we're able to go out there and do what we have to do for other people, etc. Right? So when people consistently push through exhaustion, they begin to associate effort with stress, right? So that burnout is starting to seep in, right? So sustainability in regards to consistency respects energy levels, not the goals, right? So taking consideration, like I said, the body needs to rest. You got to be able to recover. You got to replenish that energy. So when recovery is built into routines, effort becomes sustainable instead of draining, right? So look at your routine, look at the patterns, look at what's beneficial, what's sustainable for you to be able to be maintaining, right? Let's not be pushing over our limits for long periods of time because that's going to bring us that stress, right? So really know and get more insight in regards to your body by, being intuitive. Next, let's dive into a practical frame in regards to redefining that consistency, right? So lower the minimum requirement, right? So it's not about, like I said, trying to push yourself to get more done, right? Look at what's sustainable, look at what makes sense, right? And start small, right? Show up in ways where you can match, your current capacity. Small actions create sustainable momentum, right? So like I always tell people off rip is just little things matter, right? So little things that you do add into the big picture, right? So it's not about trying to get everything done in a fast period of time or even dragging this out for long periods of time and just getting more things done, right? Start small, do what makes sense, do what's manageable for you, right? And then you'll get back to it, right? So try your best to avoid the stress, try your best to avoid your body going through that burnout, try your best to be more intuitive and give yourself a break and know what enough is enough. So consistency doesn't mean that, you're doing the most. It means that you're doing what's repeated, right? So I'll say it again. Consistency doesn't mean that you're doing the most. It means that you're doing what's repeatable, right? So do what's manageable off rip. Just, like I said, just do what's manageable, do what's doable for you, right? Don't push yourself to the limit. It's not going to be worth it. So I really want to take in consideration in regards to how we're able to have a balance, right? We got to be able to have that balance. So let's look at some micro actions, some achievable, immediate application that we're able to do to improve this aspect of our life, right? So practical step I want to be able to provide, number one is going to be ask yourself, right? We got to be able to have that insight in regards to our mind, be intuitive in regards to our thoughts, our behaviors, our mood, right? So what is the smallest version of this I can sustain today, right? And one small action that I can do today that's manageable enough for me to accomplish, what does that look like, right? Two, right? Choose one manageable action right? Things don't happen, right? It could be a thought, but if we don't get no action, it ain't gonna get done, right? So let's be real. How can we make this manageable, right? And how can we actively make it happen, right? 3, stop before exhaustion, not after it, right? So if you're realizing the stress is coming, you're realizing you're burning out, you're realizing you're feeling inadequate and things are just like, you're feeling right, you feel uncomfortable, right? Stop. Right, so you should be able to recognize these things early on, then the after fact where you tore from the floor up. And like I said, it could take you time to get yourself back to the get back, right? So you need to be able to be more insightful, right? Intentional, right? And at the same time to slow down in regards to things that you're doing, because like I said, stress and burnout is tied to when we just keep pushing. We just keep pushing harder and harder. So consistency grows when effort stays within sustainable range, right? So like I said, you need to know what's manageable for yourself. You need to know what your limits are, right? Somebody else could be doing phenomenal in another area and they just did doing what they got to do. And let's say, for instance, they're able to knock out some assessments. Let's say they're able to do like 10 a day, or someone else is able to do 15 or 17. Everybody's load is going to be different, right? So that's why it's really important for you to focus on yourself, right? Don't compare yourself to other people, but do what's manageable for you, right? And I think that's also good to have conversations and be transparent with some of the management people that you're working with, so they're able to know, you know what I mean? Like burnout, it's big, and we don't want to not have employees working, right? So we need to be figuring out ways we're able to accommodate these situations or these individuals for the work performance. So really advocate for yourself. Let your other people know what's going on. You need a helping hand. Really advocate for that, right? But within yourself, you need to know enough's enough, when to take a break, when to stop, right? So doing what's manageable and knowing what your limitations are really big in regards to that sustainable range, right? So pulling this video together, I really want to take in consideration that, like I said, once again, is that burnout isn't a personal flaw. You ain't a problem, you ain't a bad person, et cetera, right? But it's about listening to that feedback and doing what's manageable, right? And doing what's being approach, right? So consistency should be able to support your well-being, not cost or take anything from it, right? And I don't want you to be taught from the floor up. How many times I gotta say that, right? So I really want you guys to be more insightful. So please do what's beneficial for you. Advocate for yourself. You are allowed to build slowly, and you're also at the same time too, you're moving forward, right? So as long as things are getting done, it's about not being perfect, it's about that progression, right? So as long as you're moving forward, you're getting things done, right? Gradually things will get, you know what I mean, finished, right? So it's not about, like I said, rushing the process. Consistency, you can get there, but you don't got to burn out. So please, if this video was beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share it possible, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay blessed and take it easy.